Hey everyone, welcome back to Shop Life. The shop is clean for once, but we're about to start working. Got to make it dirty again, obviously. So we're about to bring in a couple of E60s that have transmission issues, go ahead and diagnose them, see if we need to order any solenoids or anything like that, as well as any other parts. That way, we don't have anything just sitting there. We can go ahead and get all the parts ordered and just go from there. That's the issue right there.
Oh, you guys hear that? Click, click.
Oh yeah. Every time you put it in gear, it takes like a couple seconds before it kicks in. I'm almost positive that this car will need solenoids, but there are no check engine lights. We're gonna scan everything, see for any fault codes. And then there's also some kind of suspension noise that we're gonna diagnose. But this is like one of the early model E60s, and it's got 182,000 miles. So it's been doing pretty well for the most part. We're gonna just diagnose everything and just get everything ordered. Okay. There's a leak down there. Wonder what's leaking. Yeah, these E90s, E60s with the N52 motors, even the N51s, I just hate working on them when they have already started leaking. Mainly because like once the leak starts, it just goes on everything. All the cooling hoses are covered with it, then they all need to be replaced. And I always go through a box of gloves whenever I'm working on one of these cars because of when the oil starts going. But you can see like on that pan, the E46 is leaked too, don't get me wrong. But usually they just go straight onto that little cover, and that's about it. This just coats everything. But yeah, so let's go ahead and lift it up, diagnose the suspension issues first, see what's going on there, and then we'll also go ahead and scan all the fault codes, see what the transmission errors are. Alright, so someone's actually done the transmission pan on here, but I can tell you they used some cheap pan, not an OEM one, and because of that, they're already leaking from the gasket all over. But this pan looks like it's still like very, very new. And the main reason I could tell is by the actual castings on the pan and these bolts, they are not the ones that ZF includes. So chances are it might not even need solenoid, it might just be really low on fluid. But because of that, it could have done more damage. I won't really know until I pull the whole pan down and go from there. Now suspension wise, I can already tell that this front lower control arm, the ball joint's all jacked up on it. Same with actual bushing in the front. So chances are that's the cause of the noise. It only makes noise when he's turning left, and that's where he really notices it. But I'm pretty sure, it makes more noise over other small bumps as well. But usually whenever you do anything on suspension, what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. Okay, if it's uneven, then you're gonna have different types of alignment specs. It's gonna feel a little funny as well. So whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side as well. Alright. So suspension wise, we already know what's going on with that. Transmission wise, I'm almost positive that is just that pan that's been leaking a lot of fluid out. And also they probably didn't do the mechatronic sleeves, but I'll double check with the owner, see what was done previously. Honestly, I think it would be wise to do the solenoids as well, just because if we don't do it and then we have to do it again, we're just gonna waste all that fluid. So I'll see what he wants to do with that, just to be on the safe side. Since there aren't any check engine lights yet, usually the solenoid does cause a check engine light, but we'll still scan the module and see what's going on if there's anything stored in there. Alright, so there are no fault codes on the transmission module, the mechatronics unit. So chances are it might just be low on fluid and those sleeves are bad. So I'm just gonna call him up and see what he wants me to do. If he wants me to order the solenoids, I can go ahead and do that. Main reason I don't want to like take everything off right now is because if I do drain the fluid and we do have to order the solenoids, this car's gonna be stuck on the lift for about a week. Because the solenoids take about 3 to 5 days to get here. So I'll see what he wants me to do. Chances are, like I said, it won't need them, but if he wants to do preventative maintenance and just knock it out, that's up to him. Oh, yeah, so this whole organization thing is new to me. But so she put like the tape on it with what's in it. That helps out so much. I just had a customer that stopped by really quickly to see if their mass airflow sensor was bad. So I just popped one of these out that I had to use, cleaned it up, dropped it in to see if that was the issue, and it wasn't, so it worked. Okay, so I talked to the customer. The customer's actually moving soon, and he wants me to knock out as much stuff as we can. Whatever I find wrong, just let him know, and then we're gonna try to solve pretty much everything. So I dropped the covers down. He does want me to do those solenoids just to be safe. So I dropped all the covers so I can get the material number off the top of the transmission, and we're about to order all the solenoids. We'll also go and order those control arms and see if the oil pan gasket's leaking. If that's the issue, main leak, then we might also replace that. So just looking over everything else, just writing down everything as much as I can. So you can see how much is leaking from the oil pan. It's just dripping non-stop from there. And even this drain bolt. So I'm pretty sure either somebody stripped that drain bolt before, because they've got some kind of different washer on it instead of the crush washer. And that's also allowing more oil to leak out. Yeah, you can see all the oil starting to form around all the bolts.
Brought another one in.
It's actually already done. Done diagnosing. Got the same issues with the transmission. It's got a little clunky. It's got the 2-to-1 clunk went downshift. This is a little bit newer. It's like a late model E60. It only has 80-something thousand miles. It's very clean inside and out. It's a 528i. They've changed the bumpers and a lot of other things, wheels. It's really, really clean. But yeah, so I just looked over the whole thing. This one probably doesn't need solenoids though. I'm pretty sure it's just the fluid and the sleeves. So we'll see what he wants to do. Besides that, the water pump, thermostat, all that stuff's OEM, has never been replaced. So we'll see if he wants to get all that replaced as well, just to be preventative. Besides that, the oil pan is starting to seep a little bit, but no major leaks anywhere. Valve cover gasket, all that seems fine. Someone has changed the oil filter housing gasket before. So for the most part, this car was taken pretty good care of. Alright, so we got the E60 diagnosed. Now we're moving on to the E46 M3. That one has the VANOS hub is messed up. So we're just about to pull off the entire valve cover and just take a look at everything, just see if there's anything else that I see right off the bat. So the problem with this is it has VANOS related codes for the intake cam. So we've done the VANOS solenoid. We've also done the camshaft position sensors. We did all that, cleaned the idler control valve, all that stuff's done. Also, it does have the VANOS rattle. So we just didn't want it to be the exhaust hub. What usually happens is the tab breaks off. So the tab sits inside that oil pump disc, and whenever that tab breaks off, then you pretty much get all those VANOS codes because it doesn't really see where it's at. And also the tab floating around in there is not good. One way to prevent this is you can get the upgraded VANOS hubs. It's a little bit thicker, so it actually sits inside that oil pump disc and doesn't have as much space. So the clearance is very tight. Or you can get a re-drilled oil pump disc, which has a smaller hole and it sits, pretty much reduces the clearance between that tab and the rest of the actual disc. So it's only on the exhaust hub that usually that happens. There's so many different manufacturers that make these hubs now, and there's the cryo-treated. So the cryo-treated is just like some kind of heat treating. It makes that steel a lot more stronger, pretty much. We're about to pull this apart. Once I do it on this, I'm actually gonna do it on my car too. I haven't done it like preventatively on my car. So I wanna go and get that oil pump disc. And after that, I can actually drive my car. So that's one of the reasons I don't like driving my car that much, is I'm always afraid I'm gonna break something. So I'm trying to start slowly getting all those items knocked off the list. That way I can, actually drive it. Alright, so here's the progress on the M3. We've got all the valve covers and all that off. I even actually took off the whole VANOS assembly. But what you saw after that time lapse, I actually had put everything back together. I thought we had fixed the issue since the exhaust hub tabs were actually not broken. So we put everything back together. I changed a few other things, didn't work, so now I took everything back apart. And here's the whole VANOS assembly. We've got the whole VANOS unit right there. We've got the oil pump disc taken apart, and then all the other parts of the springs and the pads and all that right there. So we are going to get a new oil pump disc, the one that's made by Bason Systems. They re-drill like 2 more holes that are a little bit smaller than these. That way the clearance is a lot tighter between the exhaust hub. But I'll do a whole separate video on that on my main channel. I'm going to do the same thing on my car as well, preventatively. But yeah, so we're still searching for the problem. Hopefully we'll figure it out. I'll double check all the timing and all that. I already checked it once, everything was okay. I'll double check it again once we do the whole rebuilding the VANOS, and we'll go from there. But anyways, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and stay tuned for more M3 stuff, and make sure you go check out our main channels at Shop Life TV and at BMW Selena.
No beamer when I pull in the sun. Change on me just like Polo the Don. Don't be fronting, girl, you know I'm the one. Number 2 is not an option, and they know they can't stop me. Take off, I can't take no breaks off. I've been working